It was just a matter of time before Bernie Mac's daughter came out and spoke on what Katt Williams has been saying on the Club Shay Shay show. She said some good things about Katt Williams. She said she had no reason to doubt his sincerity, and she appreciates that he spoke so highly about her father. Let's take a listen.
I keep getting lots of contact about my thoughts on the Katt Williams interview on Club Shay Shay. The interview heard round the world. And I don't know, my take is probably going to be really, really boring. Number one, I want people to keep in mind, my dad has been dead for 15 years, so I have not been fully immersed in the world of comedy. I don't know the ins and outs of that like that anymore because my end has been gone for 15 years. I've got friends in the game, but we don't sit and talk about, stuff like that. So I don't know Katt Williams. Never met him. That's one person I never did get to meet when my dad was alive. But from everything that I've ever heard my dad, say, he's always seemed like a stand-up dude. So I have no qualms, no quarrels with him. I thought the interview was hilarious, entertaining. That man dropped so many one-liners that I'm sure we are going to be wearing down to the ground in this year of our Lord 2024. But one of my biggest takeaways in watching people's responses was how people were kind of like, oh, this kind of sad, like, outside of being, tickled by it. And I've seen people say stuff like, it's like watching, your uncles go at it, and you're like, oh, why can't we all just get along? Well, because everybody doesn't get along. Like, I think that's one of the misconceptions about comedians, and I guess it's due to the fact that what they do brings so much joy to others, that the perception, the expectation is that behind closed doors, everybody gets along, everybody it's just love. And no, it's not. They've always been competitive. Like, it's always been, as far as I've ever witnessed in watching my dad, it's always been kind of cutthroat. Like, you'll have, people beefing, like, same as within your family. Just because y'all related don't mean y'all all get along, right? Comedy's no different. But for me, Katt Williams has my utmost appreciation and respect for giving my dad his props and his flowers. And I felt like it was genuine. There are some people who have given, my dad his flowers now that he's dead, that I'm looking at like, doggone well, he wasn't doing it when he was alive. And that, not just famous people, just people all across the board. As my dad used to say, you ever want to be loved by everybody? You ever want to be special? Just die. It's real easy to give lip service when somebody dies and you go, oh, they were so wonderful. And that's not how you felt when they were alive. But when Katt spoke of my dad, for me, I felt his heart. I felt that it was genuine, and I appreciate it. Again, it's been 15 years since my dad's been dead. If you follow me at all, I've said this repeatedly, like, it does my heart good to know that my dad was a stand-up guy, that the man that I knew him to be was who he actually was to people, because that's the thing. Like, we can love people and think they one way and then find out later. No. And I say, like, in 15 years, if he was an asshole, somebody by now would have been like, let me tell you about that mother. So that is not the case with my dad. Makes me so proud, and I just really appreciate what I believe the genuine love and respect that Katt Williams showed my father. It is so much appreciated. Much love and mad props to Katt Williams. I would love to sit down and just have a conversation with Katt Williams, because I think that is probably the most entertaining and gem-dropping conversation I probably would have in my life outside of conversations with my dad. So, yeah. So that's my take. Like I said, probably boring, but that's what I thought. Again, much love and respect to Katt Williams.
Well, actually, no, it wasn't boring. The young woman was just speaking her mind about her dad. God rest his soul. Bernie Mac, you're loved, and we miss you. But Katt Williams was speaking truth to power. Let's face it, he's been sitting on this for a while. He's been dropping hints every now and then in between, but what he revealed came from the heart. This is stuff that he was sitting on for years, because in the business that he's in, the entertainment business, You're not supposed to talk about stuff you see when you go to these parties. A lot of times they have you sign an NDA. You're not supposed to reveal anything and speak on anything. But he's been dropping hints. I think the first hint that I heard was when he said he opened up a door. There are different rooms and celebrities go into these different rooms. He made a mistake of opening one door and he had to double back and look in the room and says, "Isn't that Professor Oglesby?" Because he couldn't believe that this man was having intercourse with another man. Well, of course, this is alleged because he didn't show the receipts. He didn't provide any pictures. And he says this is what's been going on. So I guess they don't invite him to parties anymore because they know he's going to reveal their little escapades and their little secrets, so-called secrets, because we all know what's the deal. At least some of us have good imaginations and we kind of imagine what's going on. But guys, this is all alleged because there's no footage of the escapades that goes on behind these closed doors in these parties. So another part of the interview of Club Shay Shay, Katt was talking about some other comedians. And I'm telling you guys, he didn't really miss anyone. The ones he didn't mention, he probably just forgot to mention them. And I think a lot of people got upset that they weren't mentioned to put some spotlight on them. But here's what he had to say about Michael Blackson.
If you're going to say that, you got to go to act. Most comedians don't get booed enough. I mean, this is how you end up with a Michael Blackson, who's a real African doing a fake African accent. Okay, this guy is mad at me. All I did was give him the best advice of his life. Remember, he was wearing dirty dashikis, and I told him he needed to dress to be in the position that he's trying to say that he's in. And if you're the African king of comedy, sir, there's actually comedians in Africa doing comedy. If you're going to say that, you got to go to Africa and get a school, dude. Everybody got, you got to put in some work. And these guys, they take my advice, they change their whole persona, and then they hate me for it. And generally, I'm just too big to comment or make a statement about it or do a live or any of that. But when it gets to be a whole grouping of these guys, I got to come and talk to Shannon. I got to lay it down at the altar. You know every comedian. This is the other side of Kirk Franklin praying. This is the reckoning. 2024. The reckoning. What a way to kick off 2024. It's a great start because everybody's talking about this interview. You know, you watched every episode. No, that's not what you said. You said I know every comedian. You know every comedian. You limiting me. Oh, you watched every episode because you know things. You know things. That's always where I'm trying to come from, whether it's comedic or otherwise. That's why even if you see me get arrested 10 times in a row on TV, as a fan of mine, you can be like, he finna be right out. But Katt is missing the point why his fan base gets upset whenever he gets arrested, because he knows better. He knows that the prison is full of black men who they use as modern day slaves. So why would you want to put yourself in a position to go to jail or prison? He said he's never been to prison, but go to jail and be a part of that statistic, because we're all part of a statistic. Whether you're black, female, you got children, married, you're working, not working, we're all part of a statistic. So why would you want to be a part of that particular one? Jails and prisons filled with black men who they're trying to put a rap sheet on for you to get some other offenses so they can haul you into prison for you to do a long-term stay and work the system as a free man, like if you're back in slavery. So that's why the fan base gets upset whenever he puts himself into the position of getting arrested. They just said he didn't do it. He couldn't have. It's stupid. Why would he do something stupid knowing he got to come back and talk to us? Nah, they respect that every time it happens, I'm going to be free as a bird sitting out here talking to you about it. That it really was what I said it was. That's all. So how long does he think he's going to be
out free as a bird every single time. Sooner or later, he's going to run into a cop that's dirty, that's going to plan something on him. A cop that is corrupt, that's going to plan something on him, and he's going to be put away for a while in prison. You can't flirt with a system like that and think that you're the Teflon Don and nothing's going to happen to you. You're going to just go to jail. You've never been to prison. Boastfully, he says, I've never been to a prison. I've only been to jail. Well, guess what? It's just as bad. The stay is short. It's not as long as a prison stay, but that's nothing to boast about. Katt said he's got how many kids? 10 or something like that. So you got to set the example if for nobody else, for those kids. And then we wonder why so many black young men in the prison system, because their daddies sometimes are setting a bad example. So what do y'all think about Katt Williams saying that Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker? Now, he said that for a reason. In case some of you don't know, Chris Tucker is on that list that just was released by the courts of all the people who went down there to the island and partook in some of these young girls' activity. But there is a disclaimer that comes with that list, that some of the people mentioned did not necessarily go down to the island. They just came out in conversation. So we don't know if he came up in a conversation that people were having. That's why his name was mentioned. But he is on the list. So I have to say alleged until the court sort it out who actually was there and was abusing these young girls.
Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey. Oh, Lord.
So I said, well, he didn't show any proof. This must not be true. But then I saw it on the internet, okay, where he was listed on the flight log as part of the court documents that were released. It looks like if he is number 136 on the flight log, it looks like 136. The red mark kind of obliterated part of the number. We're talking about a picture speaks 1,000 words. Here we see Chris with two of the underage girls and Miss Maxwell, who arranged all the meetings and all the FOs. And so I don't know how Chris Tucker is going to explain this one. Katt Williams is not taking any prisoners. I don't know if he have any friends left in Hollywood, because he sure is throwing all of them under the bus. I don't know what they did to him, but he feels as though he got to set the record straight before he goes to the pearly gates. His mind and his heart and spirit got to be clean. So I guess, Chris Tucker, you two got a lawyer up, honey. And of course, we already heard about Bill Clinton, and I know Hillary is upset because she stayed with him through thick and thin. Monica Lewinsky and all the other scandals, and now he got a young woman rubbing his shoulders. Where did it take place? Was this on the island? I don't know, but he is on that list. And then we got good old Kevin Spacey. Can't seem to get out of trouble. Stay in trouble over the years. And now here comes another scandal. These guys don't know how to quit. I mean, you're going to be wrapped up in underage girls, allegedly. Your name is on the list. What were you doing down there on the island? Or what were you doing renting a jet? There are lots of other jets you could have rented. Why Jeffrey Epstein's jet? That's what I want to ask Bill Clinton. The names are just surfacing. It's just a scratch, a drop in the bucket. We're going to hear about this for the next year. So, guys, buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I'm over and out. Don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. See you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.